Okay, good morning, everyone, and good to have you here at this ACM online training event. The topic today is WhatsApp groups, how to get it right, and Japie Swanepoel is going to be presenting for us. But before we press on, just to put you in the whole picture, we're going to start shortly. Presentation will be about an hour. There'll be time for questions, and we'll all be finished by 10:30. This is part of a series. This is the first one. The other topics coming up next week, we've got YouTube. The week after, the 1st of March, engagement. And the week after that, the 8th of March, we are going to be looking at TikTok. I'm Dave Hotchkiss, and I'm your host this morning. As I said, it is Japie Swanepoel who's going to be doing the presentation. Japie is the founder of Interactive Concepts, online strategy company based in Cape Town, and also of Digital for Christ, an initiative set up to guide Christian organizations in the use of internet more efficiently. He's hosted workshops in Zimbabwe, Namibia, Kenya, and all across South Africa. He's even come to our part of the woods here in the west of Durban. And he's co-authored 5 books on e-marketing. He does websites, social media, WhatsApp, email newsletters, online advertising, and training workshops. Covered in the Digital for Christ bouquet. So, Japie, it's really good to have you here. But before we start, Japie likes things a little bit interactive. So what I'd like to do is if we can just switch on our videos if possible, just introduce yourself and where you're from. I'm going to call on you, otherwise nobody knows where to start. And I'm going to call on you as I see you on my screen. Of course, left of my screen is Natalie Turco, General Manager for ACM. And then I've got Japie. And then next is Carmen. Carmen, good to have you here. Where are you from?
Thank you. I'm from Freedom of Religion, South Africa, OSI.
Great, thank you. Peter Rabbit.
How's it, Dave? How's it, everyone? I'm from Impact Radio in Pretoria. I'm in the Pretoria area. Good to be here.
Great, good to have you. CBN Southern Africa, who's going to speak for you? Yeah, no, you're not unmuted yet. Yeah,
I'll speak for us. There's a few of us here in office, CBN South Africa, based in Westlake, Cape Town.
Great, thank you. Karen Trotsky, just unmute, please.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on with this video. It's Linky FM in East London.
Great, thanks, Karen. Mohammed Ayub, good to have you. Can you introduce yourself?
Good day, Mohammed Ayub Alice, Voice of the Cape Radio, Cape Town.
Great, good to have you on the workshop with us today. Kuta Sambu with a K. I said it right.
Hi, yes, it's Kauthar. You said correctly.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I was trying to get my screen on. Just hold for me. Sorry about that, but yeah, I'm from VSC.
Okay, VSC. What?
I think this is on. Can you see me?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good to have you with us. Thank you. Faraz Sheikh. Hi. Just unmute for me.
Yeah, hi, David. We all from the Voice of the Cape station in Cape Town.
Great. No, that's great to have you. Michelle Kutsia, GNCR. Or have you got another group there with you? Just you, Michelle?
Hi, no, just me today. Michelle Coetzee, Good News Community Radio.
Thanks.
Load shedding.
Tian Duplessis?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm from Christ for All Nations, and we are currently based in Century City, Cape Town.
Good, welcome. Gareth Storer?
Hi, it's all Gareth, also from Christ for All Nations.
Right, good. And Genevieve? Okay, Michael Camera, Christ for All Nations as well. Great. Okay, I think we're going to have a good session together. And I'm leaving it up to Japie if he wants to open it for questions during his presentation. He can throw that across to you. Otherwise, we'll stop and we'll have a discussion and question time at about 10 o'clock. Thanks. Over to you, Japie. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for the introduction, Dave, and thank you, Natalie, for making this all possible. And yeah, it's exciting to be here and to see so many of you keen to learn more about WhatsApp groups. We will definitely have a question answer session at the end. But if you have a question during the presentation, why don't you just throw that into the chats? If you know how to do that, go to the very bottom of your screen, you'll see a chat button. Throw the question in there, and then as I talk, I may want to use one of those to go through it. Right, so let us start with me sharing my screen. And right, so there we are, introduction. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move right ahead. So there are a couple of golden rules when it comes to WhatsApp groups. And yeah, I doubt if there's any of us that's not on a group or more than one. As I am a consumer on the one hand, in experiencing the type of content that is coming my way, I'm constantly trying to refine my rules, thinking what is sound practice for the person on the other end of the groups that I am part of. Any of these things are obviously up for debate, but let's just start with the basics. Your group must have a purpose. And if you are not sure about the purpose of the group, then you better sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and actually make sure you write down the purpose of your group. If you are the only one administering it, that's fine, but it's best to talk with a friend or a colleague or someone to say, let's just be clear what the purpose of the group is. Then you as the admin person will make sure that the messages that you share are relevant to the group. And this will also guide you very much in the type of messages that you will ask people not to post and even go so far as to remove them. So I want to encourage you to just sit down, maybe later today, and just say, am I sticking to the purpose of my group? There's such a temptation sometimes just to say, listen, let's just push this on here. Example, I'm on a cycling group, and there are about close to 300 people in a cycling group. I'm also on the group for my town. And last night on the town group, someone posted a parrot landed in someone's garden. And if you know whose parrot this is, please help. That makes sense. That's part of the town. And it wasn't a minute later, then someone on the cycling group said, I know this is a cycling group, but this parrot arrived in my lawn. What can we do about it? So it's not relevant to that group. The person thought it was. So please keep to your purpose. Do not spam the group. You've got a group. People are entrusting you and they're saying, okay, here's my details. I want to hear what you're saying. I like what you're standing for. I see what your purpose is. And now you're telling me there's a market this weekend. And can I please come and take a table at the market? That's not going to work. And then sending me ongoing stuff. So please, if you are not certain or not sure whether you're spamming people, maybe you should ask a friend or a buddy that's on the group and say, hey, am I still in line? Am I sending you too much stuff? So please keep on asking people. It's easy to sit here in front of your computer if you're using WhatsApp or web and just sending. and you're thinking, no, those people are desperate to hear from me. Meantime, they are desperate to mute you. So be careful not to spam. This is something that I had to get over, all the time. And then when I see someone leaving the group, I'm like, wow, what have I done wrong? Why have they gone? Should I ask them to come back? Is it something I said? Is it something I did? But people leave all the time. Maybe they're leaving the area. Maybe they're not interested in your stuff anymore. I don't know. A small example is a group being set up for a wedding or for a birthday party. You get invited, and then after the birthday party, person leaves. But then the group still hangs around there and it keeps on posting stuff ad infinitum. So don't worry if people leave. Be more concerned about your content and make sure that if you're concerned as to why that person left, send them a direct message. I do that. Hey, buddy, I see you've left the group. Oh, no, I didn't tell you. We moved towns, and that's no longer relevant to us. Thank you very much. Same applies for you. So the good practice is to say, listen, guys, I am moving down, or listen, I'm not interested in your message anymore, or thank you, the wedding has come and gone, or yes, I'm no longer a teenager. I can't be part of the teenager group, so this is why I'm leaving. Because remember, when someone leaves, everyone else sees they're leaving, and they're all wondering as well, why, what happened? In fact, I manage a group, and recently, one of the guys in the group said to me, Japie, I've got a new cell phone number, so please, can you change it? So I clicked remove, his name is Christian. I said, click remove Christian. And then I clicked add his new number. But no one had his new number. Everyone knew his name. And immediately I got a message from a friend to say, why did you remove Christian from the group? What has he done? I'm like, wow, hang on. He changed his number. He asked me to remove him. So yeah, these things happen. This is something that I must say I was guilty of until I read this rule. I often do this. Hey, how are you doing? What's up today? Can we meet tomorrow? What time will suit you? And then do 3 or 4 messages, because I thought, hey, it's good if someone sees it in little chunks. But that's not good practice. Rather condense your message, rather send a shorter message. Try, I think, Twitter, 140 characters if you can. Send a short message, but send it in one. Because maybe I say, hi, how are you doing? You get it. I want to know if we can meet. I get it. And then I go start doing something else. And then only an hour or 2 later, I see you said, oh, in the next 10 minutes. So post it in one message, but please try and keep it concise. This is the same thing that happens on any social media platform. You know, it happens on Twitter. You know, it happens on Facebook and on Instagram. Someone says, so nice photo. I haven't seen in a while. Yes, when you're visiting again. Oh, no, maybe this weekend. Oh, shall we braai? And the other 100 or 200 or 1,000 of us are all watching this one-on-one conversation. If you want to have a one-on-one conversation with someone, you send them a message directly. The same happened. I think there's something. Okay, I'll get back to that. So you may say, listen, my group is I manage a nightclub, so we need to talk to people between 9 and 7, but most of us don't. And yeah, I mean, anytime from 8 to 9 onwards at night, I don't want messages anymore. Maybe you feel that's your time to catch up. It's a good time to catch up on messages that you receive during the day. But don't send messages to people at that time of the day. Personally, I just think it's rude. It's like you don't appreciate or respect their privacy. And of course, if I send you a message, I expect a reply. So I like this rule. You may want to adapt it, but just think about your audience and think about yourself receiving messages between 9 o'clock at night and 7 in the morning. So if you are a political party and you say this is about debating the future of our country and what we want to do, then okay, this rule doesn't apply. But if you, like us, a normal community group, you want to talk to certain people about certain aspects, please stay away from those people in that community who does those things and who wear those clothes and who eat that food and who's always complaining about that issue. That's not how you build a community. That's not how you keep people together. Remember, A WhatsApp group is basically a community of people just in an online environment. If you didn't have WhatsApp, you'd have those people together in a hall, or you have them together at a picnic, or you talk to them when you meet them in the street or at the spa or the OK. So please try and respect that and say, listen, you know, I really believe this guy should be fired. Or did you see that? Oh, wow. OK. The biggest topic of the day. Should there be a minister of electricity? You know, that's, I believe, unless you're a political party driving some political agenda, then those things must stay away from your groups. And you as admin really have the responsibility to ensure that there are not those people who are always trying to weave in a message. We all know they are there. And you either have to say politely to that person directly, I'm asking you to kindly stop, or you have to take the next step of removing that person. This is one thing you have to learn. You have to have the guts to remove someone from a group that's always causing a stir. I'm not saying everyone must speak the same language. I'm not saying everyone must be a ja-broer, always agreeing. But listen, if there's someone causing dissension, you must ask them, kindly refrain from doing that. Otherwise, I might have to remove you from the group. Having said that, you don't want to do that on the group. Okay, you don't want to say, I had a situation on Monday where someone posted a message, followed by a second, followed by a third, followed by a fourth, and then I was seeing that person typing his fifth message on the group. And I immediately sent him a direct message. I said, thank you, we got it, fantastic, that's enough. And he immediately responded, okay, fine, I get it. And he didn't post his last message. So just be sensitive about how you deal with people, but also know that there are 50, 60, 100, 200, 300, 400 people on the group. Why do you want to upset them because one person just wants to push their own agenda? Then talk to them directly and say, hey, listen, Jack, please, can you take that stuff off there? Either talk to me directly about it, or refrain from doing it, or maybe find another group where they're happy to have you. This is something that may apply very much if your group covers a very specific topic. Imagine it's a family celebrating mom and dad's 50th birthday or wedding anniversary. And now you're just adding someone else to the group. Okay, so that's maybe an extreme example, because most of our groups, we want to share. We say, we've got a message and we want you to hear our message. But I think that goes hand in hand with the rule. Either someone must add themselves, or they must give you their permission to add them. So don't just add anyone, and specifically in this case, don't add someone to a small group. So there's the permission. Even if I see someone and I say, hey man, we've got this group, would you love to join it? The guy says yes. And then I ask them, do you give me permission to add you? Is it okay if I add you? Yes, cool, do it. Then I add that person. But please, just adding someone. In fact, I've got a friend who listens to a devotional message every morning, and he's a long distance truck driver. He drives 7,000 kilometers a week. So he listens to these things all the time. And he's got one specific message that he loves. And every single morning, once he's listened to it, he clicks forward to me, forward. I listen to it sometimes, but not all the time. But it's okay, I'm happy. And about 2 weeks ago, all of a sudden, I see I'm now getting that message directly from the guy who shares the devotional messages. So I went back to my friend. I said, wow, what's going on here? I already had your message this morning. He said, I certainly didn't give them your number. And how could they get your number? Because it's just me forwarding it to them. So yeah, that's a bit weird. So someone added me to a group that I didn't give permission to. And now every morning I get both. So be wary of that. This is something that people are often unaware of. So if you, like me, use WhatsApp Web, here I'm sitting on my computer and I found this amazing video or this huge document. Someone sent me a PDF document the other day. When I clicked on it, it said 117 pages. Who reads a 117-page document on PDF on your phone. Come on. So please be aware that you might send someone something and say, please quickly click here to check it out. They're sitting on their phone, and by the time they've clicked it, downloaded, you've taken 3 gigs of their data. You're not going to be very popular, especially if that person is a teenager, because it seems like they need data more than oxygen. Right. And it is possible for a group to be deleted. And you know how to do that. I don't know if you know how to do that, but it's quite a process. You have to remove every single person individually, and then you have to go and delete the group. You can't just delete the group. Previously, when I started the group and I didn't have the inclination to delete it, I just removed myself. Which is not the right thing, because I started it and it was about a weekend hike away, literally. And after the hike, I just removed myself. And then the group just went on talking about other rubbish. But preferably you want to remove every person, and then at that time also remove yourself. Okay. I just want to look at chats. Okay, so I see no questions or chats at the moment. Okay. Okay, so just we'll probably share some of this afterwards, but you're welcome to just, while I've got everything on the screen, I don't know if you just want to take a photo. Right. So there are 3 questions you may want to ask yourself when you're not sure about a post. And this can help you decide whether your stuff, your content, is relevant for your audience. Firstly, is it relevant? Does this, what I'm saying here, apply to the people on the group? If they receive this, will they be happy with it? Will they be pleased? Will they say, I've been waiting for this info, it's adding value to my life. Yes, this is something I can use. Is it really necessary? It may be relevant to say that the president is presenting his SONA talk speech tonight. But is it necessary? Okay, because I've heard it everywhere else. So do I really need to hear it again? And is this a good time to post it? When something is time sensitive, when someone has posted something specifically and you didn't like the message, do you immediately want to post, listen, we don't allow messages like this. Please refrain from doing it. And you may immediately upset a few people. Or do you wait for that same message and you post it at 10 o'clock at night, hoping few people see it, but then you annoy them even more? So, yeah, I would challenge you that every time before you post something, that you ask yourself these 3 questions. Okay, this is something that I wanted to cover that I believe people are not doing correctly. And at this stage, a lot of the stuff we're going to be doing is practical. So I really don't mind if you pick up your phone. In fact, I think you should pick up your phone. And if you're part of a group, or you run a group, or you're just a member on a group, go to that group, find a group that you are a member of, and I will quickly do the same. And then click on the group, on the group name at the very top of your screen, and then try and see what description you see there. Okay, as you can see, there's one group, it's a cycling group, there's a little description there, and there's another group with a longer description. I often find that groups have neglected to put a description in at all, which means right beneath the name of the group, if you see that one, and beneath the call and the search, there's a big opening there and no description there. Here is an example of a coffee shop, and they've gone a step further and they actually put a web address in there. So if you're on your phone, you read the description, okay, it is clickable. So you can actually just put a URL in there. But what I like about the description, it also defines what your group is all about, okay? And you can make a longer description. You can put your purpose in there and say, this is what we're all about. The same way you would put some of your guidelines on what you do on a Facebook group in your About Us page, you can put some guidelines here as well. Don't make it complicated, but you may want to say, here we post the following things. We don't allow profanity. We don't allow any misogyny. We don't allow racism, etc., etc. So that if ever you had to remove someone or something, you can say, listen, by joining this group, it was your responsibility to look at the guidelines and the rules. So I'm sorry you didn't abide by those, and that's why we have to ask you to leave. Right, there's an example of the URL. Okay, this is something that's very important, and these are invitations. How do you get more people to join your group? And what are the different ways that you can encourage people to get? So my most obvious one is if I can see someone face to face, it's a colleague, it's a friend, or it's someone I see at the shop and I hear them talk, I say, hey, we've got this group. Would you like to join our group? So the easiest thing is when you do a group, I want to encourage you once again to, if you run a group, a WhatsApp group, you can pick up your phone and then once you've clicked on the group description, you scroll down a little bit and then you'll get to the number of participants. And just beneath our participants, you'll get add participants, right? And the add participants, if you click on that, that allows you to add additional people. And most often, what happens, it opens up, if you click add participants, it opens up your own contacts on your phone. And now I can click add participants and I can search. I can say, hey, I want to tick Michael and I want to tick Amanda. Okay, and when I tick them, they add it to the group. So keep in mind, these are people that I already have a relationship with. The details already in my phone, but I still need their permission. I still need to ask them if they want to be part of the group. So that I can do manually. If I see Michael, and I say, Michael, can I add you to the group? Yes. The next time I see Amanda, can I? Yes. On that one time, I can click on that and add both of them at the same time. So I don't have to do one by one by one by one. All right. Then there's a link. The link, when I click add the link, it automatically generates a link that I can then send to people. Okay. If you look at this group, if you look at the just beneath the men, Kleinmond men, that is the group link. And when I click add that link, I get that link. Now that link, I can do anything with. I can then actually send it as a WhatsApp message. I can SMS it. I can email it. I can put that link, and we'll show you later, but I can actually just copy that link and put it on my Facebook page and say, would you like to join our WhatsApp group? Click this link, and people will automatically click the link. Okay, continuing on how to do that. When you then click on the link, you get various options. And it says to you, would you like to send the link via WhatsApp? Would you want to share it? Do you want to copy it, or a QR code? If I click send via WhatsApp, it fulfills the same function as previously shown, where I actually choose someone from my address book. It will then automatically send it to the person, right? What I like about this, and that's a new feature, when I click send link via WhatsApp, it can also link to my status. So maybe once a week or once a month or whenever, you actually want to post the link to that group to your status. So in addition to just finding names, like I showed you in the previous slide, the clicking share a link here via WhatsApp allows you to share it to your status, which means people will then see it. I can also share it to anything else. So if I click, let me just show you so that you go back. If I click share a link, so you will see share a link via WhatsApp. And if you look at the second one down in the red square, share a link. If I click share a link, it brings up all the options on my phone that are shareable. And I just made a screen grab of some of those, right? So that'll be WhatsApp. And if you want to scroll down your phone quickly, if you have your phone with you and you're on a group, click share a link and you'll see the options. The options I find here on my phone right now are SMS, WhatsApp, Gmail, Facebook, Google Maps, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Drive, Telegram. All of those options are all there for me to share that link. So if I were then to just click on the Facebook icon, it will automatically open up the Facebook app in my phone and it will say, join our WhatsApp group. And beneath that, the link is already there. So I do not have to make the effort of copying the link and posting it there. Although, like I said, that option is also there because maybe you want to copy that link and post it in a Facebook page you manage rather than your own. On the phone, it just immediately takes you to your own Facebook profile on your own app. If you have the Facebook app on your phone. Right. You can also copy the link. Okay, you see there just above QR code, it says copy the link. And copying the link just means that it's copied to your phone. Then you can go anywhere else and copy and paste. So sure, some of these are duplicates, but it just gives you the options. Because maybe I want to copy that link and post it in an email. And that is not the Gmail that's linked to my phone. So if I click copy of the link, if I then go to my mail program and I open the mail and I'm going to mail this to Natalie and I say, dear Natalie, see this link, and I double click on my phone in the email program, it will paste that link and I will send it. So someone can actually join the link via an email. I see some questions in the moment I've done the last one on how to share your page, QR code, I will address those questions. Right. I like this feature and I think it's way underutilized. Obviously, if I'm sharing my QR code with you via my phone, you will not be able to read it via your phone. Dave, I see there's someone waiting to enter the room. So if I click QR code, it would automatically bring up a QR code that will be specifically designed or created just for my group. So the question is, what can you do with that QR code? Well, you can take that QR code and you can paste it on your Facebook page. And maybe if someone is scrolling Facebook via the desktop, they can pick up their phone and they can scan it. The same for other applications. Keeping in mind, though, if it's a QR code you send to my phone and I need to scan from my phone, how will I do it? What I like doing is using it in real life. And that is something I've done for a coffee shop. We printed out the QR code, we created a nice sign, and we put it in their shop. And then every time someone orders a cappuccino or a flat white, the barista says, hey, did you know we've got a group? And there's some special offers. And, oh, how do I join it? Don't worry, just scan that with your phone. You don't have to type in anything or take anyone's details. And remember, by that person scanning the code, they have invited them, they've accepted the invite. You are covered with any of the POPI Act. If you're aware of any of those laws in terms of access to private information, personal information, they have then accepted the invite. Just this week, I spoke to someone who said, no, but I don't have a QR scanner on my phone. As you may know, all mobile phones these days have the scanner automatically built into their normal camera. So if you're sitting there right now, you may want to scan that. I'm not saying you have to join the coffee shop WhatsApp group. You can always remove yourself, but just scan it with your normal camera and you'll see on your camera screen, there'll be a link to say, click here, like a web page. And if you click there, you will join that group. Right. Let us see how good I am getting to the chats. Okay, how many people can you add to a WhatsApp group? Sure, that's a good question. That number has risen tremendously, and they limited it initially, as you know, because of people using it to incite others to riots in India. That's where it started, and they limited to 128 people. At present, they have really increased it, and I must tell you, they increase it all the time. So rather than me making a guess, the last time was 228. Let's just quickly Google it. How many people can I add to a WhatsApp group? I must say I've long since learned that if I don't know something, I ask Google. Okay, there you go. Can you still see my screen, Dave?
Yes.
Dave, yeah, can you see my screen? Okay, so
Yes.
everyone, there you can see, you can add 1,024 participants to your WhatsApp group. Right, excellent. Thank you for that question. And now we all know the answer to that. Right, let's answer some more questions. Right, yes, that's that one. Okay, yes, right. Okay, I've answered those questions. Excellent. Okay, thank you very much for those who asked questions. Let me just close that.
Japie, that question about does sending an invite conform with POPIA?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I thought I answered that. Yes, the moment you ask someone the moment you invite someone and they accepted it, yes, then that's it. That's it. The biggest aspect of the POPI Act is not to add someone's details or to send them a single WhatsApp, SMS, even a phone call. I mean, I get that every day, and people call me and say, "Oh, we want to sell this to you or that," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Where'd you get my details?" Actually, are you aware of the POPI Act? Yeah, but I'm just calling to ask. Like, you can't call me to ask. You cannot even make that one call to ask me. Sorry. Have a nice day. Goodbye. So, yes, but when I sent the invite, remember, the invite will only be sent to someone you said who you've requested, do they want the invite? Okay, so maybe I need to be clear there. You cannot send an unsolicited invite. So if any of you send me an invite tomorrow to join your group, that is not complying to the law. Okay, but if I see you and you ask me, send me the invite, yes. That's why when the QR code, if you put that QR code and you print that sticker out and you walk with a t-shirt in the streets, I don't care, scan here to follow me. The moment someone else does that act, the moment someone else scans it, then they've taken the first step to say, yes, I want to be part. But yes, you can't even send me a message to say, can I send you a message? Sorry, but you can't. Right, let's move on to some posts. I'm a big fan of keeping it short, and I have my own internal rule that applies just to me and, of course, to the groups I manage. If ever I see a message with the text at the bottom that says, read more, then I immediately don't read that message. I will not read more, okay? So that's just me. Just think about people receiving that, okay? It's not a paper that you're presenting to United Nations. It's a message to support, to encourage, to invite, to share something interesting, okay? It's not a book that you're writing. So please keep it short. Add a photo, and even better, add a video, okay? Yeah, I'll be straightforward. I think if you don't add a photo or a video, you just don't have any creativity and maybe you're just lazy. Okay. All right. Now I'm not going to be asked to present something else again, Dave. But sorry, there's every single thing a photo can be added for. Okay. The moment I see a photo on a WhatsApp or on a Facebook or on a Twitter or anything else, immediately it stands out and it makes me want to read that message. You may not have seen my previous example. I run a men's group on a Friday morning, and one of the men has just been to Nepal for 2 weeks on a mission trip there, Kathmandu. So every Thursday, I post a message and I say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. And I just thought I can just say, listen, one of the guys have been to Nepal and he's going to discuss that with us tomorrow. But I went to Google, I found a picture of Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal, and I posted the picture. I said, have you ever been to Kathmandu? If not, come and listen to someone who's been there. Okay. Now someone who was in Hong Kong visited me this week and he said, I'm sorry, I couldn't make the meeting because I was in Hong Kong. I said, but when I saw that message of Kathmandu, I was immediately interested. So please make an effort. If you can do a short video clip, that's fine as well. It's not always that easy. We've gone through that process already, you know, creating a video clip, especially if it's an audio message. You need to convert it, an audio file, like a sound cloud file. You need to convert it to a video, and then maybe you want to upload it to YouTube and then share it. So it's a little bit more complicated, but at least add an image. On one of the groups I manage, I have now banned all forwarded messages. You may say it sounds a bit rough, okay, because it's great, but I've just said, no, you cannot forward any message. You can only share your own content. Don't be lazy. Go out, take a photo. If you feel inspired to share something, write your own content in your own words and share it with us. Okay, same way if you're a group admin. Someone forwarded me a message the other day, and by that time, at the end of the day, 3 different people forwarded the same message to me about a guy standing on the side of the road selling popcorn, and another guy buying all the popcorn and giving him money, and so impressed that he's giving someone, but making a video of him doing his good deed. And everyone thought that's the best. By the end of the day, I had it 3 times. And I just said, no, I don't want to see any more forwarded things. And if a friend sends me a forwarded, I might look at it, but I'm telling you, if I see the words forwarded multiple times, I delete it immediately. I don't open it. I don't. And then I see them the next week and they say, did you look at that video? I said, no, I refuse to look at forwarded multiple times. Write your own stuff, man. Come up with something. Be creative. So you may not share this, but it's just one of the theories that I apply in the WhatsApp groups I manage. Verify your facts and statements. Okay, so sometimes you hear something, even if you're not going to forward it, you're going to post it as your own. Yeah, I just heard that Elvis is alive. Okay, right. Maybe a bad example because maybe he is, I don't know. But sometimes you hear something and you immediately post it. Oh, did you hear? The road is going to be closed because there's going to be a march. And you just post it. And then later someone said, no, that was not the case at all. It was just a rumor. But the moment that you post something, remember, it's the same for WhatsApp as it is for Facebook, as it is for writing an article in the newspaper. The moment you write that, you've published it, you take the responsibility for the authenticity, for verifying it, and for whatever the results may be. If you say, go there, stand up against that, don't do this, don't do that, and someone actually does that, as the result of content you shared, then you will take the responsibility for that. So I'm not trying to scare you off. I'm not saying don't post stuff. Have guts, stand up for what you believe, say what is right. I believe in that. But please verify your facts and be aware that it might have a certain impact on someone. Some people are more sensitive to certain things, and it may cause an issue somewhere along the line. All right. I don't know how many of you have used polls, and I'm so delighted with this new application because here the big thing was, will you be coming to our small group or cell group, whatever you might want to call it, or will you be attending this event, or the cycling club as a braai? And it was always put a thumbs up if you can. And then, of course, there's always those people who put a thumbs down. I mean, I don't understand why you want to tell us you can't come, because we can only cater for people that do come. But in any case, now that we have polls, it is so much easier. So if you have not seen a poll before, that's the poll for my cell group tonight. Vegetable lasagna, yes, I will be attending. I love it, or I'll be coming on my own. Right. So if you take your phone, once again, if you're on a group, if you manage a group, let's look at one quickly that I'm on. Right. If you press the plus button at the bottom, the same place where you usually would go for posts, to add a photo or something, you'll see at the very bottom, there's a thing called poll. Okay. And that's not a thing standing in a garden, right? This is a small little voting thing. And when you click on poll, I'm clicking on it right now, up comes ask a question. And then you ask a question, and then beneath the questions, you have answers, which are the options. Right. So I have an outreach thing planned this weekend, and we have to go and help people refurbish a little building, and we are all going to go with hammers and break down a wall. What better can be for men, for a couple of men to do on a Saturday morning than breaking down walls, with permission of the owner, of course. So the message is, the question is, we're going to be going down to this little building, and I want to know if you can join us. And then I have two options. Will you be joining the Friday group? Question 1. Will you be joining the Saturday group? Question 2. So I'm going back quickly to the lasagna one. The lady who manages that is in our small group, cell group. And I said to her, when you do this, and she's done it wonderfully, don't say, yes, I can come, or no, I can't. If you can't make it, it doesn't help us with the catering. So rather just give two positive options. Yes, it will be with my family, because she knows every family in the group. So if I say yes, she knows 3 people will be coming, or no, it will just be me. And on my own means 1, right? So that's that. Then once the poll is done, at the bottom of the poll, okay, is a button that you can click, view poll inquiries, or view poll, let me quickly see what it says. View votes. There you go. You click view votes if you are the one running the poll, but even if you're not, you can also see the votes. And there you see every single person who said yes, they want to be. So I want to encourage you to use this application. Try it out. You can ask multiple questions, but my advice is try not to ask the no question. Can you make it, or can you not make it? Or are you interested, or are you not interested? Because if you're not interested, if I have to cater for 20 people, I want to know the 20 is there, not the 20 that won't be there. If I have to give a handout, if I have to provide food, if I have to buy them something, I'm only interested in the ones that will be there, that can make it, rather than the ones that can't. But rather than asking just one question, maybe you ask 2 questions. Will you be coming with 1 person or 2 people? Will you be staying for 1 night or 2 nights? Will you be attending the full day conference or only part of the conference, etc.? Right. This is one of the latest additions to WhatsApp, and it's called communities. I don't know if many of you have been involved in WhatsApp communities, but a community consists of members of various groups. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, but let's say, for instance, I am part of a running group and I'm part of a cycling group, which happens to be the case. And I am also part of a Pilates group, which also happens to be the case, right? And now I want to start a community of people who would be interested in, let's call it a fitness exhibition. There you go. Okay, a fitness exhibition. So rather than just going and starting a brand new group, I start a community, and that community can be called the fitness exhibition. And then once I click on that, then I can go and add people in my various groups that I see. Oh man, that's a cyclist. Oh, he cycles regularly. Yes. Oh, maybe not. Yes, in the Pilates group. Yes, in the running group. And I can add them all to one community. So it is people in related groups, okay, who have one thing in common. As for now, I'm going to be staying away from that because it just seems like another thing to manage. And I must be honest with you, I'm not 100% certain as to the POPI applications there. Although, if I'm part of the group, I already agree to be part of the group. And in essence, my group is part of a larger community of people in any case, whether it be people living in my street or in my town or in my province or my country. But there could be some gray areas there. But you may want to see if you have a mission organization or a church or a radio station. And within your radio station, imagine you have a group of young people, there's the youth programs, and maybe you have another group of devotional messages and another group of people who only want to listen to news. I don't know, I'm just using an example. There could be a community in there of people that listen to our station that live in this area and the suburb, because there's going to be an outside broadcast in that suburb. So I could see value in that. I suggest you read up a bit more about it before you just plunge into communities. Some of the admin duties that I think are very important to keep in mind: have rules and guidelines. And even if those rules and guidelines are not in the description, as we spoke at the very outset of your page, at least have it written down somewhere. Reason being, it will guide you if sometimes, and it happens to me, that I post something, I think, you know what, should I have done that or not? Let me revert to what I said to myself. I'm never going to do this and I'm never going to do that. I think I may have strayed there. It's also a very good idea to have at least a second person as an admin, because it helps you, number one, when you're not there, and number two, it helps you to stay accountable. Something very important to us who are doing group things is to stay accountable. It's not just me, myself, and I say whatever I want, and that's just the way it goes. That is in any case not democratic and will not go down very well in South Africa. So please consider having at least one, maybe another admin. That way, it's even more important to have the rules. Because when I see a post coming out, or when I see someone being corrected, or etc., I want to know that it was not Jack that did that, but if I post something, Mary is more lenient. Then the personalities are not that important. It's the rules and the guidelines that take precedence. So I would advise you to at least have those in place. All right. Stick to your rules as far as possible and stick to the admin roles. Respect the other person who's an admin. Sometimes, I must say, I'm an admin on a group and the other person's the admin, posts something. I'm like, wow, I wouldn't really have done that. And then I realized, but we never spoke about it. We never covered that. There's 75 people on the group. He remembers it's one person's birthday and he says, hey, Peter, happy birthday today. And Peter is feeling very chuffed. The group remembered his birthday. But all the other 76 people wonder, but why is nothing ever said about my birthday? Small things like that, which I believe you have to sort out. Listen, if we're going to post one person's birthday, we're going to post everyone's birthday. If we're going to congratulate one with a new baby, if we're going to congratulate one with passing some exam, then we have to do it for everyone. So please sort out those roles. Remind people of the rules from time to time, okay? Rather than nailing someone and say, hey, Jack, come on, you shouldn't have done that. When you see messages coming out, because you know what happens, one person says. So my group is a Friday group, it's a Christian men's group, and we talk about the things that affect our lives. Now one person says, I wonder what's going to happen with the rugby this afternoon. Another person says, yeah, you know, the Sharks. Another person says, oh, but what about the Springboks? Oh, but now I'm watching cricket. And before you know, you lost between sport and everything. You might just want to just jump in there and say, guys, yes, we're all excited about this weekend. Please pause. Remember what our purpose is here. Let's get back on track. do it in a nice, subtle way. And if you then get someone who still decides not to play by the rules, you may want to send them a direct message and say, hey, John, please, can you slow down? And if he still ignores, you might want to remove. Okay, big question, huge question. Is it an open group? Is it a closed group? Or is it both? So the challenge with an open group is anyone can say anything at any time. And you can encourage people to stick to the rules, the guidelines. You can constantly remind them. There's still just someone that wakes up one morning and they're upset with the whole world. And they said, I've had enough of this load shedding. When I'm moving to Australia. And usually to that, my answer is please go. But in any case, no, we want you to stay. Then you think, wow, maybe I should just close this group. Maybe I should just close it. Then you have a closed group and a message comes and you want to share and you want to really give your opinion and you feel like, wow, listen, is this, you said the meeting is starting at 7, but you didn't say which day, how. So that's the downside of a closed group. I'm a fan of the closed and open group. So by and large, my group will be closed. I'll be sharing stuff, information, relevant content, and then sometimes we'll say, hey guys, this issue has come up and we have a challenge with that. Do you perhaps have a solution? Go back in, open group, get answers. People are communicating answers. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. That's given me great insight. Close group. That is an option. So I'm not telling you it must be open, must be closed. Think about it. You may want to do it open or closed. If you have time and patience, you might want to have 2 groups. Coming back to my cycling group, we have 2 groups. We have an admin-only group. This is the rule. This is what's happening with the cycling club. This is the code to get into the gate if you want to cycle on that guy's farm. Admin only, I can't say anything. Then there's another group. Hey guys, we are cycling this weekend. Do you want to join us? Oh, we're going to stop for coffee halfway. Oh, by the way, the entries for the Argus are open. Who's going to write the Argus? Oh, I'm going. Oh, I'm doing my 5th. Oh, I'm doing my 10th. That group is anything goes. Okay, even if a parrot lands in your garden. But that way, the cycling club are satisfied. That's for everyone who wants to talk a lot, and that's for us who want to do the admin. So you may want to have 2 groups. Right, and I think that brings us to the end of this part of the discussion. Dave?
That's great. Well done, Japie. That's good timing. We're just on 10 o'clock, obviously, into radio here. The easiest way with the questions, there's at the bottom of your screen, there's a thing called reactions. So if you click that, you'll see there's a thing there that says raise hand. It goes like that. And then when you finish raising your hand, you just click it again, lower hand, and it goes. Otherwise, just feel free to chip in. But if you want to ask a question, raise your hand, and then I can ask you. Good. Adele Boschhoff, thank you. Link FM, thank you.
Adele.
Hi. Yeah, hi. Thank you so much. That was very insightful. I just have one question with regards, I don't know if I missed anything on, I don't know if you've mentioned anything about status. Impact Radio has a WhatsApp group, and we are struggling at the moment where the presenters are adding a status for their show. But the problem is it stays there until somebody's watched it. And sometimes they put in a question on the status, and then it only gets watched, for instance, in the next show or the next morning. And then people are responding to the status update and it's actually already done its time. Now, what would you suggest some guidelines are around a group or like a WhatsApp group, for instance, for a radio platform? Would you suggest we rather say the status updates are only for the radio station, or can the presenters do individual ones? What would you suggest there?
Okay, no, that's an excellent question. Yes, no, we didn't talk about status. So yes, people need to play it, and you know, as a rule, it stays there for maximum 24 hours. So I think where, in terms of a radio station, in terms of a specific show of a DJ, it's much more time sensitive. I think you are not getting the benefit of that. Where it is someone who's posting a status update once a day or once every 2 or 3 days, that's fine. So with a little bit of information you've given me, I would propose if the group is a radio station group, that the status is a station status and not an individual status. You will just lose out, and people will, like you say, they'll post a question, and that same DJ will only be the next day, and they're like, but you said I can ask a question and no one answers it. So I think that's a better idea, to make it more of a station thing. And then I don't know to what extent you encourage the announcers to have their own WhatsApp. Oh, but they can't have their own groups. Okay, that's just personal. Yeah, so they can post their own things on their personal status. But yes, that's the best suggestion.
Great, thanks so much. More questions, more questions. Yeah,
while we're waiting for a question there, I just see, maybe I didn't understand that question that Gareth posted. Maybe I didn't understand it correctly. I understand that getting someone's permission to be added to a group, surely one needs the permission of the group to add a stranger, taking smaller groups into account. I don't think you need the permission of the group. I think you probably mean it would be nicer to have almost the buy-in or agreement of the group. But the person who is the admin of the group is the sole one who has the right to invite someone else. Whether that necessarily complies with logic or the way you would do it in another organization is not necessarily the same. But let's say, for instance, you have a group of 5 people that meet at your home every week, and you want to invite an additional person. What are the rules? Do you have a rule in your group that anyone, if you meet a friend or family member, you are welcome to invite them? Or does the group have to ask the leader whether I can invite someone? So often we try and complicate these things, but merely we are applying what we're doing in the real life, we're applying it online, although there are some additional rules, because you can see it. I can see you sent me that link, and I can actually take action against you if I wish to via the POPI Act.
Yeah, thank you. More questions?
Oh yes, while another question is coming up, something else that we chatted about earlier that I said I want to address. Just from a practical point of view, when you need to have a meeting with someone and you don't necessarily want to set up Zoom, or it might be longer than 40 minutes, or it's only a small group of people, you don't want to do it via your phone. You can do it via WhatsApp app on your computer. Okay, not to be confused with WhatsApp for web. If you use WhatsApp for web for typing, that's fantastic, sending messages, photos, videos. But you can actually have a video call with someone via your computer, but you need the WhatsApp application for your computer. Okay, so if you're not sure, just go to WhatsApp web and search WhatsApp app. Okay, it is WhatsApp app, but that's an app, and it opens up like a program, just like Zoom. It opens up on your computer, and in that one, you can actually have a video call with someone.
Yeah, no, that's interesting, because it works. You know, WhatsApp is just, we use it for just about everything now. Another question here. on WhatsApp for Business, is there a way to create categories in WhatsApp, for example, for each show, and then engage listeners in that way? Maybe that's something for community. Anyway, I'll I understand the dilemma here. You're wanting to sort your group into subgroups, I guess.
Do you want me to answer there, Dave?
Yes, you can comment on that.
Okay.
Questions on it's on the chat.
Yes.
Have a look at that.
So WhatsApp for Business is really the business application or the business version of a one-on-one WhatsApp. So you really can't have groups within it. So or categories. So the WhatsApp for Business is just like my radio station or Pep Stores talking to you and treating you as an individual and you talking to that person. Okay, so WhatsApp for Business is not a group. WhatsApp for Business is a one-on-one. So be careful never to confuse WhatsApp for Business with a group. WhatsApp for Business is like the one-on-one WhatsApp I with you, except that it's a business. And there are certain additional applications, such as the facility to put your address in, put your URL code in, put your logo in, and it offers you automated responses. So you could pre-populate it with automated responses. If someone says pizza, you can say, what pizza would you like? If someone says shows, you can have automated messages there. So that is the advantage of WhatsApp for Business. And I will encourage you just to go to the WhatsApp for Business page and read about all the applications. There are ever multiple service providers that will come and help you and set up programs within WhatsApp for Business to tailor to your requirements. The WhatsApp for Business is free, but that service provider will charge you, and they will use WhatsApp's API, as they call it, to develop something specific for you, like they have done for a bank such as Absa. You know, Absa's got a comprehensive WhatsApp for Business offering, and I can just go to Absa on my WhatsApp and just put in the number 1, say nothing. It will automatically give me my balance. Put in the number 2, it will automatically ask me, do I want to transfer? Put in 3, ask me how much electricity I want to buy. But that's more advanced, and we don't all have Absa's money. Well, they use our money.
Sure. Yeah, this thing is very comprehensive now. Japie, commenting on this admin only or open groups. Remember we had that dilemma with the Fresh Zulu group that we were setting up when you were here, and we then opted for it's a closed group except on Sundays when we open it to everyone. And that's working well because on Sunday people have got time to chat. They can put various things in, and generally people are keeping well to the rules. And then during the week, it's just has a daily devotional. So that's a way to balance the two between the closed group and the open group.
I think it's a great idea to balance it. But yeah, you do get an information-only group that wants to say to you, this is when our next meeting is. There's no discussion, Okay, I see yes, another message.
Yeah, you did answer that question regarding the Popia thing that you cannot, but I think just repeat it again.
Okay, is that for us? Okay,
yes.
So does sending an invite conform with Popia? In my opinion, it does not. In my opinion, it does not. Because if you send me the invitation the very first time, as someone that has never interacted with your organization, where did you get my details? Where did you get my details? Okay. If I'm already connected, if we're buddies, I'm already in your phone book, you and my, when I open up my phone message, yes, a message from Feroz. I wonder what this is all about. And it says, Japie, would you like to join my group? I'm like, okay, fine. But if I get a message from someone that I've never seen before and says, well, this group is for running, Japie, we know you're a runner, would you like to join the group? Most likely I will join it, but that's not complying with the act, because where did you get my details? Unless you say to me, do you remember last week when you entered that race and it was on the form, it says, we may send you information from time to time. I'm like, okay, yes, I remember. And I can still be a difficult customer and say, you know what? I don't. Why don't you scan that thing and send it to me so I can see that I actually did it? But my first question is, where did you get my details? And if you can answer that, then fine. But if you can't, I don't think you're going to get away with it.
Yeah. Thank you. More questions? Japie, just from your perspective with WhatsApp, it seems to be growing and getting more and more complicated because you've got so many options. Is this leading to confusion, or do you think it's WhatsApp as a platform is going to continue to grow? I mean, WhatsApp is very much it's very big in South Africa, more so than in many other countries in the world. And I think, I'd just like your comment on how you see it developing.
So I can't see it stopping at all. It's a major platform in the whole Meta stable, which is obviously part of Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. And in my opinion, so one of the things that have been coming for quite a while, and we may not have experienced it, but is WhatsApp shopping. So that's going to become a big thing. So if you want to sell anything, whether it be t-shirts or mugs from your organization or tickets to a conference or a show, keep that in mind. That's going to be the next thing. And I'm not talking about a link that takes you to another page. I'm talking about buying within WhatsApp. I see integration between WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram going to be happening more and more. At the moment, we all know about the WhatsApp feature with Facebook. On your Facebook page, you can say, click here to WhatsApp us. I don't think it's too long before that will also happen in Instagram. And then the paid for features might very well start, okay, where you could advertise on WhatsApp as well. If you think about it, so far, Facebook or the Meta company has been putting a lot of money into WhatsApp for zero return. And they're not the charity business. They're in it for a return. So they're constantly working on how they can improve it and how they can build in paid for features. And think about it. I mean, I don't know, if a year from now a poll is a paid for feature and I have to pay $1 US to set up a poll, I'll gladly do so, because I mean the quick response I'm getting from that makes it worth my while. So my suggestion would be that an organization takes WhatsApp groups very seriously, and WhatsApp for Business. You set up a WhatsApp for Business account and a WhatsApp for Group, two completely separate things. You learn how to use both of them. You appoint 1 or 2 people to specifically look after this. You start reading everything you can find about WhatsApp. You start looking at the rules. You start setting up the rules and the infrastructure to manage that, rather than doing it on the side as and if we can and if we have time and maybe and sometimes, etc., etc. If you take this very seriously as a platform for communicating with the people who like and who follow and want to know more about your organization, you'll certainly see the benefits from it. And like any of these things that are still quite new, be prepared to experiment. Say, I don't quite know how this is going to work out, but let me try it. As long as you don't do something that's detrimental to your message or your brand or your values or what you stand for. But sometimes you may do something that's like, I'm not quite sure this is going to work out. But as long as the people, the viewer would say, wow, that was different, but you're not degrading or your message or the standards of your organization.
Great. Thank you. That's quite a big picture to look at, and you know, I think that all of us here on this call are using WhatsApp to one extent or another, and I think it has, the way it's continuing to expand and the group sizes are continuing to increase, there's more and more potential there. It's a case of really working at it and taking what we've learned today and applying it. Natalie.
Yes, Japie, I was just wondering, I think I agree with what you said, that you shouldn't reply to messages late at night, but so often that's when I actually get a chance to type out my message, is at 8 o'clock at night. And then I often find myself sitting there wishing that I could set a timer for my message. So I could write it out, but then set it to send tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at a more reasonable hour. But so I've never been able to find that function on WhatsApp. I'm just checking that it isn't there and there's no way to get around that.
It isn't there yet, but I mean, yeah, if you do regular posts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and you use the scheduling tools, you will understand the absolute joy of posting something now and not worried about it going off when you're in a conference or a meeting or running. But yeah, unfortunately at this stage for WhatsApp, you have to do it there on the moment, unless of course you're willing to take one of the other applications that third-party people have developed, and you have to pay them for that. But yeah, as for now, you have to do it in the moment.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're coming to the end of this workshop. Your last chance.
Okay.
Thanks, Michelle.
I just got maybe a very silly question that's on my mind. Asking the radio station and asking Japie and Dave also your advice. What do you think to make, you can only have 1,000 so many people, but would you make ever a radio WhatsApp group of your listeners? That's a very silly question maybe, but I just wondered. Thanks.
I'm not quite sure I understand the question. A radio WhatsApp group of your listeners, because I mean, if it would be your listeners in any case, who else would be your audience?
Yeah. What we do have at the moment, we have WhatsApp coming through to the studio where we read their voice notes and we read out their WhatsApps on the phone-in programs. And we do have a WhatsApp, 2 WhatsApp people that reply individually in the afternoon, post things forward. You know, if someone that said a comment about someone's program, they post it to that person, or if the person's asking information, we do reply. But it's on an individual basis. We don't have a WhatsApp group where the listeners can interact with each other and with us, and whether that's dangerous in any way in terms of taking control.
So no, I mean, I think the whole purpose of this discussion is to point out the value of WhatsApp groups, and there's no danger in it. You just have to manage it according to most of these rules that we shared today. So I would answer that question firstly by saying the WhatsApp messages that come through to the studio, you saying it comes through to individual accounts, I would advise strongly against that. There, I would say you need a WhatsApp for business account. That's the radio station account, and all the messages come through for that. That way, if I want to listen to the morning show or the afternoon show or the evening show, I don't have to remember that person's WhatsApp number. It's one WhatsApp number for the station. So that's called your WhatsApp for business account, and that's not a group. Then in addition to that, you can have a WhatsApp group. And the WhatsApp group will be where you post messages out to people and where you share messages with them and they can comment back. And that is something that can happen independent from the show. Something that works very well is to actually say, after the show, there'll be a discussion on the topic we discussed today. And there's always someone that has something to say. So the WhatsApp for business can be people sending in their questions, asking things, and that's a two-way. And remember, that person, when they get the reply from you, they don't see anyone else. They think it's just the two of you. I send a message to you, you reply to me, okay? But you needn't reply to those people if you can have a group. That can be a one-way thing, send in your questions, send in your devotion, I don't know, send in your request, whatever. But then you can take those discussions and say, hey, we've had a few points come up. We're going to discuss it on the group. And then you can say the group will be open for the next hour or something. It may also be a good ground for creating topics that can be discussed in future shows. And someone can say, hey, listen, some amazing questions came up in yesterday's post-show WhatsApp group discussion. And today I actually want to address that. So I can only see the positive, but then you have to have a plan and a structure and people who manage it and have those rules in place.
Yeah, Japie, I think my throw in on that is you can have show-specific groups. So
Yes.
Otherwise it gets too complicated. You have everyone throwing in everything at all times of the day. But, you know, if you have your station number, but you have separate groups that are show specific, that may be around a certain topic of that show, and then it then feeds in to the presenter and those preparing the material for that show, and it can then also lead to a group discussion on whatever has been the topic of the day.
Yeah, I think it's probably quite relevant to the size of the station and the number of listeners as well.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, for our women's program, which is Monday to Saturdays, different presenters, they could all form a group with the listeners to the women's program.
Yes.
And manage it and have them
Yes.
as admins. Okay, now you've given me. We just replied to our general WhatsApp number. It doesn't come to an individual, but we reply to that. But this has opened the window in my thinking. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential as you know, we apply the different groups, and then the communities thing as well. I haven't got my mind around that one yet, but I think there obviously is a potential there. Japie, anything before? All right, my last chance. Any questions? Okay, thank you so much, Japie. Would you like? I don't know if you've got something you'd like to wrap up with, and
no, I just thank you for the opportunity, and I just want to say that this is one of those platforms that's evolving all the time. I mean, just look at that, knowing how many people can be in a group. I mean, you can't pretend you know it. You have to work on it all the time, and if you start applying it and you start using it, and you get the results, you'll be so much more motivated to do more. Because it's exciting. It's exciting to have a platform that we can communicate with hundreds or thousands of people without being in everyone's room or seeing everyone in the same hall or in the same home. So yeah, I just want to encourage you to jump in there. And then also just, I always am happy to answer questions via email. And if it's okay, Natalie, I can just give my email address. Because there may be topics that you or questions that you want to ask you didn't want to ask today or don't think about today. But email answers are always free. So if you just want to email me and say, hey, what do you think about this or that or that, even send me a link and let me join your group and check it out for a few days, I would gladly do so. And it's just Japie, Japie, @digital and the number 4 christ.co.za. And maybe I should just type it into the messages.
Yeah.
It will look like I send a message to you, Gareth, but digital. And then yeah, and then it will be fantastic if you join us on our next session. Natalie, will you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, sure. The next session is your YouTube channel up to scratch? And it's at the same time, Wednesday next week. A few of you have already registered for it, so we will see you there. But otherwise, for those of you who haven't registered for it, you still can, very much so. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that next week.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, we look forward to being back and having you back with us again next week, Japie. Good.
Right. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.